What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. And today, a very exciting unboxing, or sorry, this is a review for you all, rather. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the GeminiJets 1:400 scale Fedex Express Boeing 757-200. They've done it like 5 or 6 times. This is the 2024 release, so this is going to be a cool one to dive into. Got a cool story to go with it, along with all the other pieces to the puzzle. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the box and see what's going on. Not too much to report on besides it being a standard FedEx box. So if you don't know, the FedEx boxes are typically white for GeminiJets, so that's pretty cool. So you got GeminiJets made by collectors. Here's the logo in the middle, CGI 757-200. It's a nice proportional box. It looks really nice, so big fan of it. Again, I think the last time that they did one was in 2021 maybe, or somewhere back there. So it's been a while. So the main reason I get this, and I'll talk about it here once I show you the pamphlet real quick for anybody curious on reading any literature. And of course, you have the beautiful plastic as well. Okay, let's talk about it. So as of for the FedEx 757-200, as many of you may have known or have seen in my airport updates or equivalent, I had a FedEx 757-200 for a very long time. Let's get macro mode out of the loop here and then we'll talk about it. So I had the FedEx 757 for a very long time. In fact, it's pretty special memory thinking about it. It was my very first NG model. It was actually, I think I actually have it over here. I'm gonna just go ahead and get it because it is great stuff. Alrighty, here we go. So here it is. So I still have it, but unfortunately my cat broke it. So pretty unfortunate considering that was my first NG, and you know, the special memories and how nice of a model this is, by the way. It's super nice, and I absolutely will try to get another one if I can down the road at some point. But there is no problem with the Gemini. I'm glad to finally have a replacement because it's a very essential piece of the model airports. But yeah, it's still tough to just look at this considering the significance. It was also at this time 5 years ago too, which is a very important time in my life for quite a magnitude of reasons. So anytime I think about a memory from then, it's definitely substantial. So anyway, though, enough about that. We're here for the model, but it is pretty cool to think about that being my first NG and the value that comes with that. And now it's obviously moved to this. So again, this is the FedEx 757-200 by GeminiJets. I think that they did a really great job on it. Just gonna move this down a little bit so we don't have that shadow there. So really excited about this aircraft. It's going to be a really quality addition here to the collection. And what I want to get into with this aircraft is it is certainly proven that GeminiJets can absolutely compete with other manufacturers with regards to how nice their models can be. This is, I think, one of their best efforts. Now, of course, it's not going to have the windows on there, the passenger windows like the NG does, and you know, some other really cool features like the outline around the cockpit windows and a couple of other really nice features in that really nice nose landing gear. But it is absolutely more than exceptional and acceptable. This really reminds me, this kind of is what I would envision, you know, that simple GeminiJets mold, because this is the foundation of it, is that simple original 757 mold, but with the additional enhancements that we want, the antennas, the rolling gear, and other features like that. So this is literally exactly what you would want to see, and I think Gemini really has mastered the 757. This is a perfect example of it. So again, very excited to have this aircraft. It's a really great addition to the collection. Very excited to have a FedEx 757 back, and definitely excited to add some new memories into the puzzle as well. So this will be great. That being said, we won't want to see any further time and go ahead and get started. Here's the cockpit windows along with the nose cone, which I think they've done a pretty good job on. Since I have the NG here, might as well take a look at the comparison. And as you can tell, it definitely is really similar. I think the 757 for NG is maybe a little bit stretched out, which is probably a little bit more accurate. But again, we are down to fine-tune nitpicking details, so why would I complain too much on that? Anyway, windshield wipers, pitot tubes, panels, the world on time, every detail you'd want. They did a really great job with the alignment and positioning of all those features, which is great. Here's the L1 door right here, which is quite nice. You also have the window along with the lever and other various features. You got the nose landing gear there, which very similar to the NG, like I was talking about. It definitely has solid detail there, but of course it's not quite down to a T. I think that piece in the back might be new from the past, like how it's structured. I think that they've touched up on that a little bit over time, so it definitely looks nice though. Nose landing gear is also great with the hub and the actual tire itself, so great to see all the detail right there. Here's the FedEx Express titles. They definitely look nice, and definitely glad to see what they're all about there, so that's really cool. You also have the door right here, so nice to see that as well, and you got the various panel detail down there, so cool to see all of that. That's great. Here's the antenna, looks very nice right there, and then you got 2 windows over there, of course, and they do have a couple of passenger seats in them, which is quite cool to think about. You also have that's a gray underbelly, I believe, right? Yeah, it's a gray underbelly. You can barely see it, so, but yeah, it is a light gray underbelly, so cool to see that. But yeah, great color, by the way, very nice. And then these IAE engines, or I'm sorry, RB211 engines, they kind of look like IAEs, but anyway, back to the point. Yeah, they look absolutely phenomenal and possibly one of the best engine attachments to a mold that I've ever seen from Gemini. I mean, the precision there and accuracy is incredible. It looks really nice. You got the Fedex Express titles on those, and then of course I'll show you the fan blades here. As you can tell, they look really nice, so glad to see those features, and they definitely add plenty of character to the model, so that's absolutely wonderful. And here's some other views of the aircraft as we go around. There we have that one-piece mold, one of the last one-piece molds that GeminiJets has, but I think this one definitely works. You can only see that one root piece really, and that's about it. Otherwise, getting into some other details, we have the leading edge light, and then you got the flap slats and speed brakes. You can see the main landing gears there too, which aren't clunky. They look quite nice. I think that's possibly one of the best parts of the mold is how good the landing gear look, and they definitely look great from any glance. So, you know, they definitely compete with the NG versions or any other manufacturer that's done this aircraft, which could be wrong, but I don't think anybody else has done a Fedex 757 and 1-400. Well, looking nice here across the wing though, and then you have that door back here, which is pretty cool. And then you got the second antenna, which is nice and stubby. In the past, they wouldn't have replicated that detail, so I appreciate their efforts to continue to maximize the detail on the narrow body offerings. You have the registration of the aircraft's November 921 Foxtrot Delta. The other one was 985, so all the 757s are pretty close with regards to their tail numbers, so that's cool. You can see a couple more panel details down there. And then that takes us to the tail where we have some cool details. Purple looks really nice on it, so that's definitely a key highlight. You can also see that we have the FedEx titles in the middle. Not too much detail outside of the rudder, which is cool to see. You also have the horizontal stabilizers there as well. I really like how they're structured and designed, and they also aren't plastic, which is quite cool, so always great to see the full metal put on there. You have the EPU back there in the back, which is nice and proportional. Typically, those have been too big in the past, but honestly, it's a great size there, so cool to see that. I'm talking about all aircraft, by the way, not just the 757 mold's definitely always been one of their best. There's really no denying that, I don't think, so that's cool. Okay, right side of the aircraft is just as nice. You have the additional panel details by the FedEx logo right there. You have the first cargo door. I'm not sure if this was a former passenger one or not. And then you can see that the engine's a little bit tilted up on this one, but it happens. It could also be that the printing of the titles could be slightly crooked as well, but looking at it from a ground view, yeah, it appears to be a little both, to be completely honest. It looks like the titles may be just slightly tilted, but again, getting down to some nitpicks, it looks pretty nice. And I could take it off if I really wanted to work on it a little bit, so that's an option too. But the wing looks nice. You have some great details. You also have the nav lights too, which is cool. So looking very nice. You have the back cargo door right there, and here's the FedEx tail once again. It looks very nice, and honestly, once again, I think they did a really good job here putting it all together, and it definitely is a key highlight. So awesome to see that, and they definitely have done a good job. Staying out of macro mode, didn't mean to click that button, so it wasn't the phone's fault this time. But you can see the top of the aircraft has some nice details. I really like the metallic color, of course, all of what you would expect, so that's cool. Bottom of the aircraft is just nice. Stand hole's great. You got some great details underneath there on the landing gears, and then that red box, hazard box, or whatever it's supposed to be, looks really nice. And once again, I think that it all came together very nicely. So yeah, this aircraft definitely has some real significance considering the circumstances, and considering that this was my first NG and now I got the Gemini instead, which, yeah, the Gemini is real nice. It definitely is a wonderful replacement. You know, my goal was never for the cat to break my NG, but life happens and you got to move past that. So that's what I did in this particular case. And yeah, finally got to get this one, as I was trying to eye down a older release for quite a few months. It just never happened. So ended up getting this, and yeah, once again, very happy to have it. And it goes well with my other FedExes. I had the 767MD11. I'm trying to think of what others I got off the top of my head. A300, A310, DC10, which is unfortunately retired, among others. So yeah, it's definitely a nice assortment of aircraft, and it's been cool to expand the fleet. I'm excited to see what's coming up in the future, but yeah, these are a pivotal asset for the Tulsa Model Airport among all the rest of them, really. So yeah, definitely needed to get this back in the fleet, and really happy to have it, as it's a wonderful model, and they did, once again, a really good job on it. So looking forward to seeing what I can do with it here in the collection in the future. But anyway, it's a great plane, and definitely glad to have it. With that being said, that'll do it for today's video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Test process. Do you love and love you do? My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon, as Redriveraviation is signing off.